What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video, we're going to break down the simple way to create 7th chords for you to use in your music. The example we're going to walk through today is from the pop hit Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, but these chords can be used across all genres. Here's the example we're going to walk through today. Before we jump in, want to let you know I'm giving away 5,000 melodies royalty free. Just comment down below melody mastery and subscribe to the channel. I select one winner every Friday. Now, how do we create the beginning part, this foundation of our song, the chords right here? And these sound amazing because they have that nice 7th jazzy vibe feel to them. Now, if you don't know how to make these chords, let me show you a very simple way that you can make a progression like this in minutes using what I call the jazzy chord lineup. Now, whenever we create music, we are working in a certain key. And if you don't know a lot about music theory, quick intro right here. If you do, just wait 1 second. Basically, on the piano right here, we have 12 notes that repeat over and over and over and over again. Now, each one of these 12 notes has a family of 7 notes that you can use to create music, whether it be chords, melodies, whatever. Now, I am going to be working on only the white keys to keep it very simple for you guys, and this is known as the key of C major and also A minor. They both use the same 7 notes that I've laid out right here for you. Now, this is a C major scale. Now, when I use this right here, what I know is that if I create certain chords on certain numbers here, so like the first note and the 4th note, these are both going to be major 7th chords. So what I have to do here is I use my 3-2-3 strategy, and I basically count notes in between. So I go 3, so there's 3 notes in between on both of these, 3-2-3, 2, and then 3. Now, the 1st and the 4th, that's where I create my major 7th chords. Now, the 2nd note, the 3rd note, and the 6th note, I'm going to create minor 7th chords. Now, watch this, and you'll see what I do in a second. So I use the 2-3-2 here, and I'm going fast because I want to get to all the good stuff. 2-3-2. Okay, and then this G and B here, we're going to get to in a second. So we've now created 5 chords that we can use like Legos to make chord progressions. Let's listen. Honestly, you don't even need these other 2 notes right here. But what I want to do is I'm actually going to take these chord progressions right here and change the root note that's going on here. So the root note of all these is the bottom note. What I'm going to use is an inversion. So I'm going to take this chord right here, take this E and jump it up an octave, and then just look at this. I replace that note, I bring this back down, and I'll make this one alive. So this note is now live. And then for the B right here, I'm actually going to take this chord, drag it over, jump this up an octave, and now I have my jazzy chord lineup using the 2-3-2 strategy, the 3-2-3 strategy, and then just using a simple inversion where I take one chord, I jump a note up an octave like you just saw there, and now look what we can use to create our chord progressions. So now what I've done is I've taken the chords from the song and I put them against our chord lineup right here. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that in this song right here, not all of these chords are 7th chords. So Kirkpatrick, the producer, decided to start off with the first chord being an A minor 7th chord. And that's the chord that we actually have right here. Now, what he's done is he's actually voiced it a little bit differently. So I'm going to move these over, and I just want the A minor chord. I'm going to drag this over here, and we're going to mimic exactly what he did. So I'm going to drag this down, and we're going to match our root note. Now notice there's nothing else really down here. If you listen to all these notes clustered together on the lower part of the piano, it doesn't sound that great. So what's very important to understand here is how important the open structure of these chords are. So what he does is he basically takes these chords and he'll octave jump these notes up a certain bit. So he'll probably go here, And we've octave jumped that note up. And then we have what? A G here. So this is the G. And then what note is this? This is an E. That's this note right here. Immediately sounds better, right? And what he also does, he has the octaves right here, both playing A's, to make his chord more full. So if we listen to this, if we listen to this, so we took our basic chord lineup here, we've made an open A minor chord, and it already sounds 10 times better using the open chord structure, right? So let's keep breaking down this chord progression. I know this is a longer video, but this is really important stuff to understand. So his next chord is actually, when we look at it, all we have is C and G. Now what this is a power chord, so there's no third in it. So whenever we look at a chord, and this is a C chord right here, right? And I'm going to get rid of this top part of it. And if we just listen to it, it's going to be a C major chord. Listen in. Now it sounds happy. We know it's happy. What is a power chord? When we make these triads, is what they're called in the theory world, this third right here is giving it the major or minor feel. So if I make it down one, it sounds minor. But when you remove this third, it's mysterious. It's actually a perfect fifth, and we don't know if it's major or minor. And that actually brings some interest to our listener right here, because the listener doesn't know whether or not this is a major or minor chord. So let's listen. Minor seventh. And really right here, we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next. And these mystery chords are great to just build up some tension wherever in your song. So these are power chords, and all a power chord is the first and the fifth of a chord, like you saw here. So I'm going to take these notes right here. I'll bring them over and I'll match it. So I go here, I see what he's doing. G and then C, and then we have this, and then we have a C. So we have this. And then what Ian does really well is he uses quick rhythms to jump from chord to chord. And I love this strategy, right? So he basically will play the C very quickly again. And then he's going to jump up to what here? A D power chord. So we still don't know what the vibe is going to be of this song. So I'm just going to put this here. It's not going to be perfect, but to make a D power chord, it's just D and A. And then from there, we have these two chords right here to finalize our chord progression, right? And adding those seventh chords right after the power chords brings that amazing flavor to them, right? And I know our chord progression or chord lineup's a little butchered here, but this is, whoops, this is an E minor seventh chord, and this is an F major seventh chord, and these are the two chords used right here. So basically, if I drag these over, and he uses, again, that quick hop. And he basically has these chords really clustered together. And then basically what he does, he takes these notes right here and these notes right here and just drags them up again an octave. And let's listen in right now. And my timing's a little bit off because I'm just building the chord right now, but I think it comes out to about right here. And look what we have. We have the same chord progression from Don't Start Now using what used to be a full chord lineup to create all of these chords like Legos. And the really cool thing about the chord lineup is you can mix and match all of these different chords to come up with very unique chord progressions like our song right here. So let me just go through a couple more things in this song that I really just wanted to cover because I did build out an entire demo. Now, let's first look at this bass. Actually, let's look at this piano right here. So something that I did to really make this a bit more interesting is I added something that I call reverses. So reverses sound great going into your chord progressions, right? So I actually have a reverse right here going into our first chord progression. If you listen into this, it just sounds great going in. And then right here on the second part where I have a little bit more rhythm going on to the chord progression, and the dun dun dun, I think it just sounds great overall with the song. So the way you create reverses, and it's different in every DAW, all you have to do is just take a part of your song, like right here. I've cut out this chord. So if we just listen to this chord by itself without the reverses, whoops, here's how it's going to sound. And what you do is you bounce the audio to this. So this would just basically be the audio of what the MIDI is. And you can see right here. You just take it and I just click in Logic here and I can reverse it. And I'll drag this down here. I'll turn these chords back on. And it sounds great because whenever you see the audio here, what happens when you're making this chord is it gets loud at first because the song hits and then it quietly goes down. What this does is it actually has some really cool effects of like volume, right? Because it goes down, and while this one's going down right here, the MIDI, this chord's going up. So if we listen together, the next thing I want to go over is as the beat progresses, there's some changes in the percussion, aka the drums and the kick right here. If you notice how we first start, we try to keep the beat simple. So I'll just play the drum bus by itself. Now you notice what I'm doing, I'm bringing in different elements. The first thing I'm doing is this tambourine right here. I'm slowly bringing in the volume, right? So we're adding more elements as this goes on to keep it interesting for the listener to, listen to. And then what I do is I also add a nice like acoustic hat right here. And if I play that by itself, and this sounds really cool. And I have this tambourine loop panning back and forth right here. Just adding some movement and nice energy. And what this is going on here, guys, whenever you have music, these higher frequencies are what makes your song sound professional and good and keeps the energy alive. Because if you don't have this, the song will sound dull. So you always try to introduce elements up here as well as other parts of the EQ, but that's for, that's for a mixing and mastering tutorial. Now, the other thing that's going on here is I'm also adding in another kick 4 on the floor. So it's every other here. If you listen to just this section, and the kick is just going one time. The second part of it, I have the kick hitting on every beat. So if you just listen, and I have the snare going on as well. So in our percussion there, I'm just trying to show you guys, I want to keep it interesting. Now, the bass line is very unique. I'll probably have to cover it in another tutorial, but it's a fantastic element. The last thing I want to go over here is the string layer that goes on, and I'll play it with the bass, and you'll listen to it that it'll just come in. So here we go. And I loved how Ian Kirkpatrick did this. So basically what's going on here is we are basically just slowly pitching up this string to add another element as we go into this part, the second part of our, this little demo right here. Without the string, let's listen to how it sounds. With the string. And that string by itself adds so much movement to it. And really what's going on here is we are just taking this one note and we're pitching it. So I take the pitch in Logic, and you can use any DAW, and as it comes into the 7 bar here, I have it automating slowly in. If I don't automate it, this is how it's going to sound. It just sounds, it doesn't sound any different, right? But having this automation in, it's almost like a reverse type sound to it, and it's just great to mess around with pitching different things. So anyway, this video was supposed to be about chord progressions, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit on the production side. So again, comment down below melody mastery if you want a chance to win the 5,000 melodies. This is going to conclude the tutorial. Also, let me know what else you guys want to learn. I always ask in the comments so that I can make videos like this to help you guys out as much as possible. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you got something out of it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.